Okay, we're working on measuring angles in mathematics, and we're just going to review some vocabulary here. This is some help for home. We talked about vertical angles. Vertical angles are created when you simply make a type of x. And vertical angles, the opposite, they share a vertex, but they don't share any rays. So I have an angle here, 1 angle, 2 angle, 3 angle, 4 angle. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the opposite angles on the vertical angle are always congruent, which means the same measure. The same measure. I actually messed that. Congruent. So they're both congruent, which means the same. So this angle 1 and angle 3 are both 30 degrees. Angle 2 and 4 are both 150. Here's another example. So angle 1 and angle 2 are both congruent. They share the same measure angle. And these are two vertical angles because it just simply makes an x, and they share a vertex right here. The other kind of angles we talked about are adjacent. Adjacent also share a vertex, but they also share a ray, which vertical angles don't. So they share a side or ray. So here's angle 1 and here's angle 2. They're adjacent. Adjacent also means right next to each other. Here the skier makes a couple of angles. Here's angle 3, here's angle 4. They share a line or ray. They also share a vertex, where vertical angles do not share any ray or line. They only share a vertex. They make an x. And now complementary angles. This is a complementary angle. They're angles whose two measures add up to 90 degrees or a right angle. If you put the two together, they make a right angle, adding up to 90 degrees. Okay, so 65. This is a right angle, and this angle is 65, and this one's 25. 65 plus 25 is 90 degrees. We use the mnemonic device. It's right to complement somebody, to say that complementary angles make a right angle if put together. This is also an adjacent angle because they share this ray and this vertex. Not all adjacent angles are complementary angles, but this one is right here. Complementary. The other kind of angle we're talking about are supplemental angles, supplementary angles. These two are not, they're not sharing the ray, so they're not adjacent. Not all supplementary or right or complementary angles are adjacent, but they can be. They're angles whose two measures add up to a straight line, which is 180 degrees. So 65 plus 115 is 180. So if put together, they equal 180. It's kind of a lot of a vocab here. Let's review it again. Vertical angles cross. They share a vertex. They make like an X type symbol. The two opposite angles are always congruent, or meaning the same. Adjacent angles share a vertex, and they also share a ray or a line. They're directly next to each other. Complementary angles are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. It's right to complement somebody. And supplementary angles are two angles that add up to 180 degrees. And so we can use this information to find unknown measures. This angle is 78. This is a vertical angle. We know that the opposite angles of vertical angles are congruent. So C equals 78 degrees. Okay? So on this one, they're saying that angle QTR is the same as RTS, meaning this is also 39. And that angle PTS, this is 180 degrees. So what's this one? So 39, 39, you go all the way to here, is 180. So 39 plus 39, 78. So it's a measure of from here to here is 78. So we have 78 plus angle F should give me 180. So I have this plus this much more is going to give me 180. So I can subtract each side, 78 from each side, to isolate the F. I just have F subtract 78, and I'm going to get 102. 102 plus 78 is 180. So angle F is an angle of 102 degrees. Okay, so just can use some little deductive reasoning to find these measures and your knowledge of supplementary angles and complementary angles. In this case, we use supplementary. Let's go on. So these two are supplementary. So we have from here, measure all the way to here is 180 degrees. So here's 120 plus this additional measure is going to give me 180. So the way to find that is to subtract 120 from each side. Here I get just x all by itself, and subtract 120 and I get 60. So angle 2 is 60 degrees. So if this is 120, 60 more degrees is giving me 180. Let's move on. This is number 3 on your homework. Number 4 on your homework, these angles are complementary, so they add up to 90. 35 degrees plus this angle here is going to give me 90. So 35 plus something is 90. Let's see, I can kind of just use my head and say 55, but if I want, I can subtract 35 from each side. That just cancels out of x all by itself, so 90 minus 35 if you want to really just kind of work this out. 0 minus 5, I can regroup. I get a 5. 8 minus 3 is 5. So I get 55 degrees. This angle is 55 degrees because the two angles are complementary. They add to 90. So number 4 is 55 degrees. Let's move on. Okay, and number 5 on our homework, they're just using words, so you don't get any visual. So angles W and X are supplementary. That means they add up to 180. If angle W is 37, what's angle X? Well, 37 plus X is going to give me 180. So I can subtract 37 from each side. It's minus 37. And I'm going to get 143. I could plug it back in. 143 plus 37 is 180. Okay. On number 6, they say S and T are complementary. So what does that add up to? The two angles are going to add up to what? Good, 90. Hopefully you said 90 degrees. So if S is 64, so 64 degrees plus angle T, that's going to give me 90. So once again, I just subtract 64 from each side. On number 6 here, and it's going to give me T all by itself, and that equals 26 degrees. .26 right here. So that's 26. Number 6. Angle T is 26 degrees because 26 plus 64 is 90. Okay, number 3, we have angle 1 are vertical angles. Okay, so they do something like this. So I'm drawing not to scale. So this is 1 and this is 2. If this is 48 degrees, its vertical angle is going to be congruent. So it's also going to be 48 degrees. So I didn't have to figure anything out on that for number 3 on the homework. Okay, so good luck on the homework. Good luck with these angles.